Hi, I'm Mark. I'm the National Technology Officer for the ABF, and I'm going to talk to you about what we're doing with technology. This is one of three videos, so this is the first one. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of the system, let you have a look and see what it is we're intending to build. The second video is going to go through the approach to the project, so things like cost, risk, timings and so on. And the third one will be a look at different technologies, so what we're planning to actually build this with. You don't need to understand technology for that one, it'll be nice and simple. Okay, so overview. What is it we're trying to do here? We're building a mock-up. So if you can go to this URL, so tinyurl.com/abfdemo, it'll take you into a mock-up of the system. Now, what it is basically a shop front. There's nothing behind it. It doesn't really work, so it's not a real system, but it should give you an idea of what it is that we're intending to build. When I talk about people, I'm going to use we quite a lot. We usually refers to myself and Julian Foster. We'll also be adding a developer to the little we group soon. The technology unit are the guys that are helping us with advice on this stuff. So that's Matthew McManus, Ian McKinnon and Peter Bush. And the ABF Management Committee have seen this actually this weekend and given us approval to go ahead. So that's great. Okay, so let's get on with it. Let's hop across and have a look at what the system's going to look like. Okay, so I bring up a browser, I put in that tiny URL, and it will take me into the system. So here we go. Now, what we're trying to build here is a customized immersive experience. So what I mean by that is that because you're logged into the system knows a lot about you. So it can make the experience much more directed towards what you want it to be like. And because we've got all the features built in, it's immersive. You don't have to go across to lots of different systems. You should be able to get everything from one place. So if we have a quick look at this, that brings us into the dashboard. We are pretending to be Alison Strallo, who is the ABF president. So all of this stuff in here is as if she was the person logged in. And what we get is a customized view related directly to her. So recent averages, we get an account balance, and I'll talk a bit about ABF dollars as we go through this. So this is a new concept where you can have an account with the ABF that you can use to pay for your bridge. It knows what events we're booked into, so it's got 4 events coming up, and it knows about master points and if you've got them, PQPs. You've got your recent results here, so not a generic list of results, actually specifically things that you've played in and specifically events that you've got coming up. Down here we've got a sort of scrolling news feed. It stops, but in the real system we could have that like a sort of Facebook thing that goes on forever. And this again is customized to you, so these are the things you've expressed interest in, and you can get rid of these if you want as well. They're all clickable. Before we look at some of the other stuff, maybe we'll jump into the settings and stuff. So we've got a profile option here. So if I go into the profile, I can self-service on all of this stuff. If I change my phone number or my email address, or I change my name, I can do that myself. Only thing I can't change is the ABF number. I've got a little profile picture thing here, so I can change the picture, I can change the comments on it, and so on. Security is a very big thing with this system, which we're going to try and make it sort of bank quality security throughout. So we've got some settings here that we can control. So if I want to, I can use two-factor authentication. That's those little codes that you get when you try and log on from a new browser. It says, oh, hang on, is it really you? And it sends a little code to your phone and you type it in. So we can do all of that sort of stuff. We can also in here have system cards. So we'll have the ability to manage our system cards with our different partners, to share them with new partners, to edit them, and to maintain notes and so on. So all of that will be in as part of our profile. If we hop into settings, settings is more about how we want this system to behave for us. So do we want to get SMS notifications for the results? Do we want a monthly master point report? Are we going to use ABF dollars for all our club games, etc.? Do I want to see if I've got less than 50% in my average? Do I really want to see that? And then also the clubs. So I can control my home club from here, but also the other clubs I'm either a member of or play at regularly, I can have in this list. Same with states. And this is just the beginning. We'll be adding a lot more stuff into this, but that's the sort of thing that we're intending to have in there. So let's go back to the dashboard. And let's have a look at some of this stuff. Maybe we'll have a look at the results. So what do we get when we go to results? So we get recent match points and our team scores. So see how we're doing there. We can follow people in this. So we've got the concept of being able to follow someone. So somebody you want to see how they're doing, you can have them on your dashboard and things too. You've got stats, so you'll be able to go in and have a look and see how have you done as a declarer, how have you done as a defender, all of that sort of stuff. You can do it over all time or only with a specific partner and so on. Now this stuff's all mocked up in this demo, nothing changes, but this is the idea of what we'd be able to give you. Let's go back into results and let's actually just have a look at some. So let's pick this top one. So first thing you notice is normally when you look at the results, it brings you in at the top and you have to scroll around to try and find yourself. In this case, it knows who you are because you're logged in, so it takes you straight down to your results and highlights you. Now we can have a look. Let's see how we did against on each board. So now we get every board, and this is sort of familiar looking kind of thing with a view of the boards, and then we can drill in even further and have a look at an individual board. Again, it knows who we are, so it can highlight us. The other thing it knows is that we were sitting east-west, so rather than showing 0 as a good score for east-west, it'll show the east-west percentage. So this is a good board for us. This is 100%. And then down here, pretty standard stuff. You can look at the hand records. You can see what the contracts were. Let's hop over and have a quick look at master points. So here I've got my summary of master points. I can search for people. Again, in this demo, nothing happens, but I'll be able to, in the real system, search for other people's results if I want to see them. And I can have a look and see where I got my master points from, and I'd be able to click on this and go and look at the actual results as well if I wanted. Events. Let's have a quick look at events. So here's the 4 events that we're already entered into. I can, if there's still time, I can cancel my entry, or I can change it, play with somebody else, whatever. And these are events it's suggesting I play in. Now we'd also add in a lot of other events here, but just as an example, we've just got a few in here. So let's have a quick look at entering an event. What would that look like? So here we get the standard sort of page with all the information about the event, links to the brochures, all sorts of useful stuff. I've got my little map here. I can have a look where it actually is, and then I get down here the actual events, and I can go and have a look and see who's entered. So here we've got a bunch of confirmed entries. They're people who've paid and confirmed who they're playing with. We've got some pending ones too, so people who either haven't paid yet or who haven't confirmed their partner. So we get that sort of stuff. Let's enter. Let's see what happens when we enter this one. Now, when you enter an event in the current systems, it's actually quite difficult. It has to ask you a whole load of information, but because we're logged in, we don't need that. So if you're entering in the current systems, you've got to put in your email address, your ABF number, your name, your phone number, your partner's ABF number, all that sort of stuff. Here is much simpler. So all I have to do here is I pick the event I want to enter. It defaults to me, but if I want, I could enter for somebody else. Mostly people enter themselves. It's got a payment method, so here ABF dollars, so I'm going to use my ABF account to pay for this, or I could use these other methods that the tournament organisers set up. And who am I going to play with? Well, I usually play with the same people, so it's giving me a list. Now, we'll be able to edit this list if you stop playing with someone where you can take them off the list, but this is the default list of people, so I'm going to play with Roy in this. Roy's going to pay cash at the table. Well, actually no, Roy's going to pay with his ABF dollars as well, why not? So that's all I've got to put in and enter, and I'm done. Now Roy gets an email saying I've entered him in this event, and if he wants to, he's got a link where he can cancel that, but if he does nothing, the money's come out of his ABF account and he's good to go. So nice and easy. Calendar is very similar to events. Calendar is a more visual view of things, whereas events is a more sort of text-based view. So if I go into my calendar, here I've got a personal calendar, so this shows the events I've already entered in, plus I can also arrange to play in club games, and if I've put somebody as my partner in a club game, it'll appear on their calendar too. So we catch any of these conflicts where people don't know who they're playing with, you can have this calendar manage all of that for you. You can add something new as well if you want. Add whatever you like. It's your calendar. Now down here we've got 2 calendars in this demo system. We'll probably reduce this down to 1 and just have the option to choose what you want to look at. But you've got calendars that are showing the clubs you play at, calendars showing your state events, and we'd also have ABF events there as well. So that's calendars. Forums doesn't exist yet, so there's nothing in forums, but that's going to be this sort of chat stuff, the same as you get on the dashboard. So information, and you'll be able to post bridge hands, talk about events, do whatever you want within it. So it'll just be open chat. Let's have a look at payments. So payments is probably one of the bigger changes we're putting in here. So in this tells you it's a demo system, so we're just pretending. But payments would be a secure area, so you'd need to put in a code to get in there that would send to your phone. In this case, you can just click continue; it'll take you straight in. So here I get my my balance, so what I've been doing, what I've been spending on, and it looks like I've got a fairly serious bridge addiction over the last month. I've spent a lot of money in here, but it's okay because it comes out of my my ABF dollars account and it automatically tops up. So you can see here, these are the automatic top ups and these are the events I've played in. Now, worth pointing out what we're going to do with credit cards. We are not going to hold people's credit cards within the system. I've told you we're going to make the system as secure as possible, which we are, but even so, if the system was in any way compromised, you would not be able to get hold of people's credit cards. We're going to use a system called Stripe, which is a payment gateway, and the way that works is you provide Stripe with your payment details, so your credit card number, etc. They don't even store that. They actually get a token from the bank that represents your card numbers, and we also get a token from them. So what we get is a little magic number that we can use to tell Stripe to take money from your credit card and put it in the ABF bank account. That's all it can do. So if anyone was to break into our system somehow and get hold of those tokens, all they could ever do would be to move money from your credit card into the ABF's bank account. And obviously if that was fraudulent, we would just move that money straight back again. So it's very, very secure and very safe, and if you want to use it, it'll be very, very convenient. That's it for the basic system. If you want to stick with me for another couple of minutes, I will talk you through some of the admin things, but most people won't use those, so as an overview of the system, that's kind of where this stops. If you're still with me, if I go to log out, what it actually does is it logs me back in as an administrator. You'll see I'm a different person now. I'm Dave Director. I've got different numbers in here. I've got different things. Well, in fact, they're not that different because I was too lazy to change them all, so some of them are the same. But basically, it's my customized view of the system. And I also get 3 new things down the side here. So I get scorer, tournament organizer, and admin. I wouldn't necessarily get all of those, but just to demonstrate the different functions. So admin gives me all the ability to manage my club. So here's my bridge club. I can control, because I'm an administrator of the club, I can control who is a director in my club. I can control who is also an administrator, who can run tournaments, etc. So I've got control of that. I can post articles on behalf of the club. I can manage memberships, add and remove members, deal with finances, master points, etc. That also happens at the state level. So I'm set up here as a state administrator. So again, I can do that. I can do things like add and remove clubs at the state level, and then also at the ABF level. So I've got a very high level of access. I can do stuff here as well. As a tournament organizer, I can come in here and create a new congress. So let's create one. Now this is a bit of the system that we haven't done a whole lot with yet, so by the time you get to using it, this may be much more complete than it is now, but it lets you look at what's happening with your congress and change all the settings and the bulletins and all that sort of stuff. And then scoring. So this is for a director in a club. So here we go. Also worth noticing that because it's all customized, you get a customized message along the top that can change as you go through. So here I'm set up as a director at 3 clubs. Let me pick one. Now none of these work at the moment. They just say, yep, we'll add that later, with the exception of the match points. So for match points, I can actually go in and I can let's start a club duplicate game. I'm going to put 9 tables. In this demo, it doesn't really matter what you put. It assumes you put 9 anyway. So here it's giving me a list of movements. So let's have a look at one. What's this one? Okay, 9 table, 3 board movement. That sounds like the one I want. 2 separate winners. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll use that one. It's the recommended. So there we go. I go into the next page, and here I can set up the bridge mate, or if I'm not using a bridge mate, I can enter the names. I can choose where the hand records are coming from, or I can not bother. Let's say we've got the hand records here. This is the one we uploaded, and I can see whether there's a half table or not. So let's say there is a half table, and it's 4 north south. And there we go. Session started. Now here, this is my dashboard for running it, and we've skipped forward a bit. So this is now actually round 4, and I can see what's going on. Table 4's pretty slow. I might want to have a look and see what's happening there. 5 and 8, they're a little bit slow, but they'll probably be all right. They'll catch up. And what else is a problem? So board 24 looks like the score's gone in the wrong way around. So I need to go and talk to 6 north south and 4 east west. Now where are they? So here's 6 north south at the moment, and there's 4 east west. And here I can see against the side of it, it's telling me there's a score check needed, and here's my slow table. So we get all of that sort of stuff as well, and obviously we'll build that out more. You can also go in here and edit scores, make adjustments, and so on. So that's the basics of the system. That's what we're proposing to build. As I say, we haven't built any of it yet. This is all just prototyping. So feel free to get on and have a look at it. And if you've got feedback, we would absolutely love to hear it. There's also within here, there's nothing really in support yet. That's an area we'll build out closer to going live. But there is a welcome page, so that talks you through some of the stuff that we've done already, and gives you an idea of how to sort of use the system, and a whole lot of stuff that we're building up and frequently asked questions about how it's going to work. So thanks for listening, and if you've got any feedback, we'd love to hear it. Thanks.